Yeah! Welcome to the Simp Show! You need simp, you want simp, you got simp! The show where everything is a go! Yeah! That's fucked my vocal cords, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, so much has happened in the past 24 hours, it's hard to even keep up with events, but I'm going to give a little recap of just some of the things that I know. So let's get right into the news! It's a Godwinson live news alert on the status of everything that's been happening. Where to even begin, right? Shall we begin with the fact that America is on fire? America's on fire. Now, I don't really care about America being on fire, apart from the fact that I care about Ethan, Ralph, and Jim's safety, because people are sending out to these goons, to these gamers out there, they're sending out the addresses of Jim and Ralph to go and torch the houses of the leaders of the white race, Jim and Ralph. Oh God, what is going on? So I mean, Jim's whole town is on fire. So I imagine he's hunkered down, just wondering, what are they coming for me next? And now people are sending the address out to these guys. Oh God. And now they're doing it with Ralph. Ralph's gonna have to move his trailer, perhaps. He's gonna have to go to the next county. Who knows, right? So there's that. Dick Masterson managed to deflect from his New Project 2 shutdown by just ignoring it altogether. We're going to get into New Project 2, by the way, so don't, if you're watching the skies and you believe in the truth, we'll get into that. But first off, Masterson is wading through the LA riots in Chinatown. There's full streams of this. He's wading through like Snake Plissken. He's got Vito in a Todd helmet, holding a camera. You have not seen images like this. Masterson, he's got he's looking like an 80s glam rock star, you know? Just wading through the crowds, arms outstretched. And Vito's gaining some real good footage. Vito is really up close to, the gamers throwing chairs into restaurants and smashing up buildings and shit like this, setting fires to people. Vito's got the 4K drone footage there. It's absolutely brilliant. You know, Masterson ordered him to wear a Todd helmet. So they're walking through these riots. And about an hour and something in, Masterson just decides to say to Vito goodbye. Masterson scales a chain link fence and just leaves Vito in the dust. I'm not even making this up. Vito's left to be arrested. Masterson's been pelted with bean bags and shit, and then he just decides, I've had enough. He scales this chain link fence. It's about 7 foot high, and he just fucks off. He just pieces out and walks away. And Vito's left there going, Dick, no, you've left me. Please come back. Oh, brilliant content. Absolutely brilliant. Masterson redeemed, question mark? Who knows? Anyway, right, New Project 2. What's going on with Josh? What's going on with Section 230? It's being repealed by Trump? What? Who knows what's going to happen? All we know is that we're going to talk about New Project 2 first before we talk about Section 230. If I've even got the legislation bill right, I don't even know what it is, but I know it's holding people accountable for their actions, so that's always a good thing. Anyway, Vordrak, the man who wants to feed Josh to the piggies, the actual piggies. Vordrak has got a $5,000 bounty on Josh's head. Vordrak, the fucking batshit insane A-log, has finally succeeded where Zoom has failed, you know? Vordrak has got not just Josh deplatformed from Visa and MasterCard and every other bank that Josh has signed up to, but he's finally decided to come after New Project 2. It looks like Vordrak watched Leo Pirate's video there, recapping events. So, you know, Leo redeemed? Leo Pirate redeemed? He's watched Leo Pirate's video, Vordrak, and he's come to the conclusion that he needs to just burn it all down for Josh. So he contacts the bank and says, well, you're hosting this terminated merchant. What are you going to do about it? Now, people are saying that you've got to read the post, Robinson. You've got to read Vordrak's blog. You've got to, give him his say, right? So we're going to do that. We're going to do this as fast as we can. Bear in mind, Vordrak has written this as though he's a Bond villain, as though he's deformed and stroking a cat and lives in some mountain lair. This is absolutely crazy schizophrenic stuff, but it's gold. It's gold. So let's get into this. Oh God. So it's on the Matthew Hopkins site at Witchfinder General. I'm just reading it now. It was posted on the 29th of May. So all of this has been buried, right? It's the 31st of May. So all of this got buried, right? But someone finally decided to check in on Vordrak and what he was doing. And, you know, guess what Vordrak was doing? He was just planning to destroy Josh's life, as I imagine he does 24/7. So here we go. New Project 2. It was MHN, not Leo Pirate, posted on the 29th of May, 2020. By Samuel Collingwood Smith. Let's just get into this. The closure of 9chan Kiwi Farms Joshua Moon funding site New Project 2 was not caused by Leo Pirate, although his channel is great, and so is his recent video. So there we go. Vordrak endorses Leo Pirate. Haters BTFO. Vordrak says it's not a free speech issue. It was me. He's emboldened those letters there. I had their account closed, so he's had Josh's account closed, and it's going to stay closed whilst Josh is a member. New Project 2 is owned and run by low-rent internet shock jock Dick Masterson. Dick Masterson appears to have ignored the complex regulatory requirements that apply to would-be financial institutions like New Project 2 LLC. So, I mean, it may have taken us autists to just sort of fan the flames, but now it's actually taken Vordrak, a man who's like crazily connected with the law and financial authorities and all of this. This like wacko guy has finally gone off the deep end simply because Josh is involved. Look, had Josh not have been a member of New Project 2, Vordrak wouldn't have done this. It's simply because this man has like a dying, eternal thirst for Josh's blood. This has happened, right? You know, it's almost Krautian in his hatred. You know, if Kraut hates Ethan Ralph with as much passion as like Vordrak hates Josh, if Jesse hates Masterson with as much passion as Vordrak hates Josh, you know, a lot more stuff would be getting done. You know, and let's just clarify: Vordrak has succeeded where Zoom has failed. So let's just get into this. He's showing the screenshot of him sending the email to New Project 2, MasterCard, I should say, that investigated the bank that hosts New Project 2. So it's kosher, it's real, it's true. Vordrak says, I've been quiet for a while on the Dregosphere, my pet name for the embarrassing fringe of the right who actually associate with Joshua Connor Moon and Ethan Ralph. Now, I didn't realise that Vordrak had like a big hate boner for Ethan Ralph, but well, why not? Who knows? Who cares? That is because I have been doing productive things. I've passed my law exams, and whilst I have not sought to practice law as a solicitor, I've been helping celebrities and politicians pro bono in high-profile lawsuits in the Queen's Bench as a Mackenzie friend. And then he just talks about what he's been doing recently, how above the drama he is, but every time Josh is in a bit of hot water, like, this guy just tries and buries Josh's head into the water. You know, no matter where Vordrak is in the world, like, Josh is gonna die, you know? It's crazy. It's absolutely awful. So he says that I've got a number of powerful friends, MPs, national editors, company executives that reply to my texts. They take my calls. And he's no longer on Josh's or Ethan's pay grade. So he's earning the big bucks now, Vordrak, but he's still going to stoop down into the Dregosphere and ruin Josh's life, because that's the kind of guy Vordrak is. So even though Vordrak says he's no enemy of free speech, we're just going to because a lot of this is like self-flagellation, like he's sucking his own dick here. He says, I find Ethan Ralph and Dick Masterson gauche and embarrassing to the conservative right-wing movement. But their speech and conduct is basically legal, aside from Dick not understanding about the Byzantine regulatory requirements of being a payment processor. Also that time that Ralph went to prison for a felony assault on a female police officer. Okay, so there's the kick, the dig in there, and obviously he's pointing out what everyone knows, that Dick Masterson hasn't got it together, is not practicing New Project 2 in a coherent manner. Joshua Connor Moon's speech is not legal, he says. His sites are not legal. If Dick and Ethan shun Josh, they will be fine. If not, they can expect worse. This guy is like stroking a cat in a mountain lair, planning to like send the nuclear missile on the moon or something crazy. James Bond's gonna like fight Vordrak. Like, what's happening here? Imagine not being allowed a credit card or a bank account. Worse, he says. Whole families losing their jobs, worse. Remember what happened to Candy Slynn Porter? I don't know what happened. You and your families will be the subject of scrutiny. Your lives will be dismantled. Your ways undone worse. So he's threatening Dick Masterson and Ethan Ralph because they're associating with Josh here. He's saying that their lives will be dismantled. Their ways will be undone because of their association with Josh. This sounds like crazy posting, but it's real. It's true. New Project 2 LLC was and is hilariously easy to dismantle. The company has numerous regulatory problems, including, but not limited to, data protection, compliance, and consumer law. Leo Pirate pointed out some of its ridiculous non-terms in his video. The company has a giant lacunae where its regulatory and compliance function should be. The failure to comply with red tape is only one aspect of it. The site seeks to be an international payment provider, but has problems under US law, EU GDPR law, and UK data protection law. We separate now because of Brexit. For example, in his video, Leo Pirate, let's all blame Leo Pirate for this, because clearly, like, Vordrak is watching Leo Pirate. Vordrak's like Leo Pirate's number 1 fan here. Maybe he's buying the Leo Pirate merchandise. Maybe he's buying the dog from Silent Hill on a shirt there or on a mug. Maybe Vordrak's chugging Leo's gravy there. Maybe he's donating to Leo on Patreon. Who knows? But he's flating Leo to the extreme here. He says, for example, in Leo's video, he pointed out that Dick Masterson thinks it's okay to have a data protection policy along the lines of, we can do what we want. Oh, really, Dick? And then he talks about how finance is an incredibly strongly regulated sector. You've got to account for numerous issues such as fair treatment of clients. Dick Masterson's so-called terms of service archive in New Project 2, and he says here they are, and he quotes specifically the fact that on the terms of service it says verbatim, we reserve the right to refuse service to anyone. Terms of service agreements don't mean anything. And he says here, Dick thinks that terms of service agreements don't mean anything. Dick's financial institution has been closed down by the bank. Do not be like Dick. He is a moron. Read the regulations that apply to your heavily regulated business and comply with them. As another simple question, Dick is so unbelievably stupid that he was trying to run a payment processor with no money laundering policy in its terms of use. This is it, right? This is it. Because it was a front for the Chinese triads and the cartel. That's what New Project 2 was. And we brought it down. We brought it down. The truth has been successful in its exposure of these felons, of these slimy, shady individuals. And it's righteous. And God is on our side. Vordrak continues, he says the closure of New Project 2 is not a left-right issue. It's not a political free speech issue. It's not, and I fully agree with that. And it's not an anti-Trump issue. Instead, it's like a fraud issue, right? And then he just talks about how Joshua Economoon is a Nazi pedo and a stalker who runs websites facilitating, promoting stalking, terrorism, pedophilia. Successful businesses do not fund stalking, terrorism, and pedophilia. So yeah, this is like his A-log streak coming through for Josh. He talks about how MasterCard have got like a terminated merchant file on Josh, and therefore it's passed around these banks, and all that he has to do to get Masterson shut down is by sending like, oh, do you know that you're hosting Joshua Economoon Bank? And then the bank goes, what? Let me look at the terminated merchant list. And they see that, and they're like, oh, okay, we're going to stop New Project 2. And Vordrak in his last paragraph, he says, right now, Dick has 20 grand a month on Patreon. If he likes it, he should reflect carefully and urgently on these matters, starting now. So Vordrak's coming after the money, Dick. He's coming after your Patreon. You better make friends with Josh again. You better form some fucking unholy alliance against Vordrak because he's coming for the money. He says now that, this is Vordrak's own words. Perhaps Dick needs to consider how he feels about me. I recommend fear. Like, that's what Vordrak says. So there we go. Vordrak is like got off the fucking walls and brought down New Project 2. But that's not all, ladies and gentlemen. That's not all, because in the continuing shit show of Dick Masterson's life, this morning, yesterday, who knows, Dispatch. Xander, I didn't dox him, perhaps you doxed him. You fucking piece of shit. So Ethan Ralph, Xander, we all remember the recording. We all remember the confrontation where Xander outed Ethan Ralph as doxing his pay pigs, Lord Akira. We all remember this. And now Xander Dispatch, owner and proprietor of Bitwave.tv, has decided to confront Dick Masterson on his doorstep. So this is what happens. Dispatch walks up to the crack shack, and you know, there's no illusions at this point that this Like, this is not a mansion. This mansion has, like, neighbors that are, like, 3 feet away. This is not a mansion. It's not a mansion. It's a shack. This is like a shack. The garden is untended. It's absolutely appalling. It looks smaller than, like, Josh's bedsit in the Ukraine, in Serbia, in the Siberian wilderness. It looks smaller than that, but there we are. Dispatch walks up to the door. He knocks on the door. He's streaming the entire thing. I recommend you watch the clipped video. And you can see that there's a pause, and then Dick Masterson opens, like, the door. He's wearing, like, a Joker mask, but he's, like, wearing a shirt with his own face on it, with Dick Masterson's own face. Like, what? And Dispatch goes, you know, why are you a simp and stuff like this? And Masterson goes, your internet people, and Dispatch just calls him a faggot straight up to his face. The door gets slammed and Dispatch just walks off laughing. So, yeah, address confirmed. It's not a mansion, confirmed. It's a shack in Compton, confirmed. Bizarre, like, this bizarre situation. Like, does Dick Masterson, like, answer the door every time wearing, like, a Joker mask? Like, when he's receiving his mail, when he's receiving his Amazon parcels, is he wearing, like, a Joker mask with his own face on a t-shirt, screaming at them? Like, this is mental. This is mental behaviour. But so it's over for these people. It's over. And it's over for someone, you know, who's in a pretty bad place at the moment. Like, so Josh Null, Kiwi Farms, right? He's posting on Twitter, like, vodka that he's brewed in his toilet. And he's drinking, like, vodka he's brewed in his toilet. It's gotten that rough, right? He's drinking, like, 120 proof vodka. He's just fucked. He's spiraling out of control in the Siberian wilderness. He's spamming the N-word everywhere. He's spamming gamer words everywhere because he wants, like, to get banned. He wants to make a stand against free speech because Trump's going to repeal Section 230. He's got to say that now you're going to be held accountable for your platform. Kiwi Farms and Josh will essentially be the sole person responsible for Kiwi Farms if Kiwi Farms becomes a publisher in line with, like, other, like, newspapers, right? So there we are. Josh is like, fuck. Josh is saying, oh God, this is it. It's the end of Kiwi Farms. Long ago, it seems as though, you know, he was saying, well, there's nothing wrong on Kiwi Farms. We don't do anything wrong on Kiwi Farms. We keep the purity of form on Kiwi Farms. He was only saying this mere days ago, right? But it seems like an ancient part of history now, because now he's saying that, oh no, if I have to be held accountable for Kiwi Farms, and it's over, it's done. And believe it or not, he's on Kiwi Farms himself now. He's, like, trying to write legislation. He's trying to, like, get the Kiwi Farms posters to write, like, a rebuttal to Trump's legislation, which he's going to file with a congressman. And they're all working on it together. Mental, crazy behaviour. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? All I know, right, is that Jim's town is on fire. They're coming for him. The gamers are coming for him. People are sending, like, the gamers his address. We've got to secure Jim's safe passage out of Minnesota. We've got to get him out of the flames. We've got to get him out of the inferno. We've got to reactivate the escape route that Josh used to flee the US. We've got to get Jim to Serbia or Siberia or fucking the Ukraine with Coach. We've got to protect Jim. Daddy Jim. We need him to continue selling us merchandise. We need him to continue to be able to be accepting our super chats on 4-hour live streams about the coronavirus. We need Jim to continue to be a Chinese agent, gaslighting us all about the coronavirus itself. We need this to continue, so we need to reactivate the escape route that Josh used to get Jim out of Minnesota, because it's over. Like, his house is going to be on fire. They're going to steal Jim's TV and his computer that he's just got fixed. It's done. It's over. Maybe they'll carry Jade off. Maybe they'll just carry Jade off and leave Jim alone. I don't know, but we need to protect Daddy Jim. We need to protect him. We need to secure him safe passage. With Ralph, now they're doing the same thing to Ralph where they're sending his address. Ralph has the means to just escape anyway. He can hook his trailer up onto his car and just drive off into the wilderness like a cowboy. That's what Ralph should do, really. I recommend, Ralph should just take off. But with Daddy Jim's just bought a really nice house, and it looks like it's going to have, like, flames licking up its paintwork pretty soon. We've got to save Daddy Jim, ladies and gentlemen. We've got to save Daddy Jim. So that's pretty much everything that I can remember that's been happening over the past 24 hours. More stuff will happen. More stuff is happening right now as I'm speaking, as you've been watching this for 20 minutes. And I just keep saying to you, watch the skies. The truth is out there. The world is like gone crazy to the point now where everything that we've thought we held dear, like New Project 2 and Kiwi Farms, are all disintegrating. It's crumbling down. Joshua Moon's mental state is over. Vordrak's claiming a victory like some evil supervillain. Dick Masterson's being confronted by Dispatch, Xander in the flesh, on Bitwave TV. Vito and Masterson are going into the LA riots. Vito's wearing like a 3%er militia uniform, and Masterson scaling chain link fences, leaving his fat friend behind to be arrested by the police. Everything's happening. Everything's happening. Watch the skies. Trust no one. PB&J to the chat. Cheers.